Today we're diving into a story that's been making waves. You know me, if I'm not able to sleep at 3 a.m., I hang out on the Financial Times comment section like a true nerd. I found this superbly interesting article on how the Trump companies made $1 billion from crypto, and I had many thoughts around this, so I wanted to discuss this properly. Credit where credit's due, all the reporting and charts you'll see come from their work, and I will link the article below as well. I'll be walking you through the main findings, weaving in some of my own analysis, and as always, keeping things as balanced as possible. We're going to get into all of this, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button because it really goes a very long way in supporting this work. So what is the headline here? Imagine this. Just a year ago, Donald Trump was telling the world that he was running out of cash, remember that? Facing down a $500 million penalty and claiming that he might have to start selling off his real estate empire. So sad. Now fast forward to the present, and according to the FT, he is at the center of a family-run crypto business empire that's already made over $1 billion in real, realized profit, not just hypothetical gains on paper. How did this reversal happen? How did crypto, of all things, become the heart of Trump's financial comeback? And what does it mean when the business interests of a sitting president and his family are so closely linked to new policies that directly benefit those ventures? That's what we're going to break down in this video, using the FT's excellent reporting as our foundation and hopefully giving you a clear, honest look at how money, power, and digital assets are colliding in a way we've never quite seen before. And as always, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, especially if you spot something that I missed or just want to challenge anything that I say. All right, let's first set the stage. According to the FT, this entire saga starts with a familiar story. Trump caught up in court battles and legal fees, telling everyone that he's almost out of cash. He even filed a court document saying that if a massive penalty isn't reduced, he'll have to sell off some of his real estate assets. That's the rock bottom moment. But if you fast forward just a few months, things look wildly different. Not only is Trump back in the White House, but unlike previous presidents who often saw their personal wealth shrink during their time in office, we'll talk about that later, this time Trump's finances have rebounded dramatically. In fact, as the FT highlights, he's become substantially wealthier since his inauguration. Now, part of this comeback story involves some classic Trumpian brand deals, selling everything from branded Bibles to sneakers to autographed guitars. Melania, too, is landing headline-grabbing deals like $40 million Amazon documentary, which is apparently way above normal industry rates. I don't know. But the real story, the one that FT really zeroes in, is just the crypto part. While the old Trump brand was mostly about hotels, golf courses, and licensing his name, the new Trump Inc. is built on digital assets. We're talking about a rapidly growing crypto empire here with a dizzying array of ventures, digital trading cards, meme coins, stablecoins, even a full-on decentralized finance platform, all tied closely to the Trump name and family. And according to FT's calculations, just the realized profits from these crypto ventures, so actual money in, not just theoretical valuations or revenue before costs, have already crossed the $1 billion mark in the last year alone. That's not even counting the paper value of Trump Media and Technology Group, which with its crypto holdings and Truth Social platform is supposedly worth almost $2 billion just on paper. This is not just a comeback, it's a financial transformation, powered in no small part by policy changes and business deals that have all happened since Trump's return to the presidency. And it raises a huge, lingering question: how much of this is just smart business in a hot sector? And how much of this is possible because of the political power that comes with the presidency? Let's look at exactly how this new crypto empire was built and how it's been so profitable. By the way, if you're someone who values being able to follow complex stories like this, where money, politics, and technology all collide together, you might want to check out the book that I'm working on. It's called Awake, The Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Self-Lies. The idea is to give you practical tools for seeing through the headlines, understanding systems, and just getting a bit less lost in the noise. There's a waiting list if you want early access or any updates. The link is below. God willing, it'll be out by the end of October. And as always, if you appreciate these kinds of deep dives, you can support the channel via Ko-fi. The link is below. So, how did all of this actually unfold? According to the Financial Times deep dive, Trump's approach to crypto has been nothing short of a full-scale pivot, not just for his business, but for the entire administration. First, let's talk about policy. Trump branded himself as the first crypto president, and this wasn't just a campaign slogan. He mandated the creation of a national Bitcoin reserve, installed crypto-friendly leadership at the main US regulatory agencies, and maybe most dramatically, the SEC, under new Trump-appointed management, dropped or settled investigations into some of the biggest crypto companies in the world. But it's not just policy. The Trump family has gone all in on the business side, spinning up a web of crypto ventures, most of them operating in the still largely unregulated corners of the industry. Here's a sample of what's out there. Digital trading cards, remember those superhero Trump NFTs? Those were just a start. Digital trading cards have brought in literal millions. Then there's meme coins, both Trump and Melania tokens, essentially cryptocurrencies themed around Trump and Melania, have been launched and aggressively marketed. FT analysts suggest that these coins, whose only real purpose is speculation, have generated around $427 million in sales and trading fees. Stablecoins and decentralized finance, the Trump-connected World Liberty Financial, set up by his sons and longtime family allies, runs both a tradable governance token and a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. According to the FT numbers, the WLFI token sales have brought in about $550 million, and their stablecoins USD1 has had billions in volume. Just check out this FT chart. I'll put it up on the screen here. The scale of these operations is just enormous, and that's just realized profits. Again, on paper, the numbers are even wilder. Trump's stake in Trump's media and technology, which now has a large crypto treasury, sits at nearly $2 billion in notional value. And to be clear, these are not just traditional business deals with US investors. The FT details investments and partnerships from foreign billionaires, sovereign wealth funds like Abu Dhabi's MGX, and some individuals who have previously been investigated by US authorities. If you zoom out, you see a sprawling, loosely regulated crypto empire that's not only enriching the Trump family, but is deeply intertwined with the policy shifts coming out of the White House. So it's a massive operation turbocharged by government decisions and an industry that's hungry for legitimacy and new markets. But where does the business end and the politics begin? That's where things get complicated and arguably a little concerning. Let's get into exactly how policy and business have started to blend. This is where things really start to blur. According to the Financial Times, Trump's administration hasn't just been friendly to crypto, it's actively reshaped the entire regulatory landscape in ways that, by sheer coincidence or design, directly benefit his own ventures. Let's walk through some of the highlights. There was a regulatory shakeup. On Inauguration Day, the SEC chair, a known crypto skeptic, magically resigns. Trump appoints a vocal crypto advocate in his place. Almost immediately, the SEC drops or settles investigations against several major crypto companies, many of whom the FT knows donated to Trump's campaign or inauguration fund. Then there's the Justice Department orders. New executive orders direct the Department of Justice to ease up on prosecuting crypto companies. In practice, this means unless there's clear, willful wrongdoing, crypto cases are set aside. Then there is the part about retirement savings in crypto. Americans can now invest parts of their retirement savings in cryptocurrencies, a super volatile asset, thanks to a new Trump executive order. The sector, unsurprisingly, loves this. Bank regulations in the US have changed. Old restrictions that kept mainstream banks from getting involved with crypto now have been rolled back. Then there's the high-profile pardons. The president has even pardoned controversial figures from the crypto world, like Silk Road Ross Ulbricht, if that's how you pronounce his name, and employees of the BitMEX exchange. These moves are celebrated as wins by the industry. The effect of these sweeping changes have been full-blown crypto boom. Bitcoin and other coins have hit record highs this year. Big companies that had previously left the US market under the Biden administration are now returning, emboldened by the friendlier climate. Meanwhile, the Trump's family's own crypto businesses have also ramped up at exactly the same time. There's been a wave of new product launches, aggressive fundraising, and crucially massive new profits. FT charts make this clear. You can have a look here. The growth curve of both crypto adoption and Trump family fortunes are very closely linked. Well, maybe there's more to this story because correlation doesn't always imply causation. But is any of this illegal? According to the reporting, not on paper, but it's a historic break from past presidential precedent. As the FT points out, every other president since the Civil War has gone to great lengths to avoid financial conflict of interest while in office. And Trump, by contrast, hasn't just blurred the lines, he has redrawn them entirely. He's really breaking the mold, isn't he? The big question is essentially, can anyone else in power look at these outcomes and claim with a straight face that policy has no bearing on profit? It's a situation that raises eyebrows, even if legally all the boxes are checked. Let's dig a little deeper into how this stands out compared to presidents in the past. So how unusual is all of this? According to the FT, it's pretty much unprecedented in modern US history. Other presidents, think Jimmy Carter and his peanut farm, or George W. Bush and his baseball team, those guys put their assets in blind trusts or sold them entirely just to avoid any hint of a conflict of interest. Even Nixon didn't have financial entanglements that anyone could point to. Trump, by contrast, hasn't divested at all. His businesses are held in a revocable trust managed by his son, and he's still the sole beneficiary. That means, unlike a true blind trust, Trump can access those funds whenever he leaves office, or even sooner if he likes. So while none of this breaks any specific laws technically, the scale and visibility of the business-politics blend is truly something new and unprecedented. Even ethics experts quoted by the FT are left saying, "We've never seen anything like this." Let's quickly look at how the money actually flows through these ventures. So the cash pipeline behind Trump's crypto empire is both huge and unusually international. You've got big investments coming in from all over, American crypto companies, billionaire investors, and even stake-linked funds from places like the UAE and China. For example, the Abu Dhabi MGX bought $2 billion worth of Trump-backed stablecoin. Chinese firms are in the action too, raising hundreds of millions to invest in Bitcoin and Trump-themed tokens. Some headline figures, just very briefly. World Liberty Financial, a Trump family business, has made over $550 million from its governance token and even more from dollar-backed stablecoin. Big players like Coinbase, Ripple, and the Winklevoss twins have donated millions both to crypto ventures and to Trump's own campaign. The most striking part here to me is that a lot of these transactions are happening as US policies shift, cases get dropped, and the family's crypto operations expand. It's a very tight feedback loop, money, influence, and new regulations all feeding each other. Let's talk about the political angle and who else is standing to benefit, and after that we'll talk about the public reaction, which in my view needs to be a lot louder. So here's where money and politics overlap even more. The FT points out that Trump's embrace of crypto didn't just win him campaign donations, it actually reshaped the political landscape. Crypto companies and investors have poured millions into Trump's super PACs and his inauguration fund. One super PAC, Fair Shake, raised $260 million to back pro-crypto candidates, spending far more on Republicans than Democrats. But it's not just Trump himself. Members of his cabinet and close political allies have personally benefited as well. The Commerce Secretary's family brokerage is now the main custodian for billions in crypto-backed US treasuries. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, and other top officials hold cryptocurrencies themselves. It's all above board on paper, but you can't help noticing the people making crypto laws are also heavily invested in the industry itself. Like, it's definitely a conflict of interest. As Donald Trump Jr. said at the recent Bitcoin conference, that's going to bode very well for the community. Finally, the most interesting part for me, let's look at how the public is reacting and where critical thinking comes in. First, how much does the public actually know about all of this? According to an FT Commission poll, not as much as you would expect or hope for. More than half of Trump's voters believe he made less than $100 million in office. Some even think he hasn't profited at all. And about 40% have never even heard of his meme coin or family crypto platform. Why isn't there more outrage? Partly is the complexity of the matter. Crypto is very confusing. The money moves fast, and most of it happens out of sight. Apart from the occasional protest or heated debate on Capitol Hill, there just hasn't been a huge amount of anger beyond democratic circles and ethics watchdogs. There's a lot of anger on other topics, like a certain set of files from a man whose last name begins with the same letter as my name, but on this one, not really. But this is exactly why critical thinking matters for the masses. If people were better equipped to follow the money, ask the uncomfortable questions, and see through the surface headlines, it would be much harder for stories like this to fly under the radar. So what do we take away from all of this? According to the FT's reporting, Trump's presidency has blurred the lines between political power and private gain in ways that no modern president has actually done before. The scale is eye-watering, the web of interest is global, and the pace of change, both in crypto markets and in public policy, shows no signs of slowing down. Is it just the new normal for power and money, or is it a sign that we need new rules and maybe stronger habits of public scrutiny to keep democracy and business separate? It's a story that raises big questions about trust, transparency, and what we want from the people who lead us. If you found this deep dive helpful and you want to support more independent analysis, you can always buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. The link is down in the description. Every bit of support goes towards helping me keep these videos going, even when the algorithm is moody or the subject is a little too real for advertisers. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments as well. Is this level of financial entanglement just how things work now? Should we be expecting more from the leaders in the future? Or is it up to us as citizens and thinkers to pay closer attention? And of course, don't forget to check out the Awake waiting list if you want to build your own critical thinking toolkit.